several $100 million over the forecast period.
Question number 12, Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, will New Zealand promote immediate negotiations on a nuclear weapons convention prohibiting their development, production, stockpiling and use?
Speaker.
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, the position of successive New Zealand governments has been one of general support for such a convention when circumstances are such that it has a realistic chance of success, and in the meantime to focus on practical measures to reduce nuclear dangers. I'm advised that the prospects of successfully negotiating such a treaty at the present time would be poor. For that reason, at government level internationally, there are no serious moves afoot to get negotiations on a convention underway.
Supplementary.
Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Given our nuclear-free policy and the fact that a convention is supported by the UN Secretary-General as a practical plan, now, not in the future, should we not support all resolutions calling for the convention and a nuclear-free world generally?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, as I alluded to in my primary answer, the government's position on that and the position of previous governments is one of general support.
Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Does he agree, given that global support is 76% in favour of a nuclear weapons convention, according to a world public opinion poll, that New Zealand would be in tune with the world mood in advancing this goal now, not some indeterminate time in the future?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, as I indicated in my primary answer, the government's position and that of its predecessors is generally one of support, but it's been determined that it would be useful to place some effort into promoting such an outcome when there is some prospect of success. In the meantime, the government puts its efforts into immediate steps to try and reduce nuclear dangers.
Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Does the Minister agree that any use of nuclear weapons would be a violation of the UN Charter and a crime against humanity, as affirmed last December in UN Resolution 6657?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Speaker, I wouldn't want to provide an answer to a specific question based on the interpretation of that charter. What I would say is that the government, as its predecessors has done, takes the view that we should work actively to ensure that the nuclear dangers that attend the world are reduced through whatever means are practical at the time.
Point of order.
Point of order, Dr. Kennedy Graham.
I seek leave to table 3 documents, sir. The first is General Assembly document A62650, which is a letter from the Costa Rica and Malaysian governments to the Secretary-General setting out a model nuclear weapons convention as an immediate practical goal.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is objection. Yeah. There is objection.
Yeah. There is.
There is objection.
There is. Okay.
Yes, or does the member wish to seek leave for further?
Second document, UN Resolution A-Res 6657, which endorses a convention on the prohibition of the use of nuclear weapons.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is objection.
Objection. And the third document is a document by the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, which sets out the public opinion poll showing 76% of the world opinion in favour.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is objection. And that brings, I beg your pardon, the Honourable Marion Street.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Is the Minister aware of a report that John Key could not recall how he felt about New Zealand's anti-nuclear stance at the time of the passage of the legislation? And if he is he concerned that the Prime Minister has lost a decade somewhere along the line because he couldn't remember his position on the Springbok tour either?
The Honourable Murray McCully.
Mr. Speaker, what I can say is that amongst the steps that New Zealand is taking in the short term to reduce nuclear dangers attending the world is the outstanding leadership that the Prime Minister brought to the nuclear summit held recently in Seoul.
And that brings to a close questions for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the